Okay. We're going to begin, and I just want to get into a little bit of meditation, breath work, grounding. So go ahead and find your way either to your back body or to a comfortable seat, whatever you prefer for starting your practice. And as you find your way to either Shavasana or your seated meditation, you can either close your eyes or just soften your gaze. And take a moment just to turn your focus to your breath. And without changing anything just yet, just become aware of each breath in and each breath out. And as you start to feel each inhale and each exhale, allow your body to settle in a bit more into the space that you're in. Feel yourself arrive into your practice, this moment, the rise of each inhale and the fall of each exhale. And then let your next breath in become a little bit deeper and fuller. Let your next breath out be a little bit longer and more complete. As each breath in grows wider and more expansive, feel that stretch that rises from the inside out with your inhale. And feel that sensation of grounding that comes with your exhale. Every breath in, making a bit more space. Feeling the freedom that our breath offers in our bodies. And then every breath out, we feel a bit more grounded, a bit more present, a bit more connected to this moment. And go ahead and take a really deep breath in through your nose, fill your lungs all the way to the top. And an open mouth exhale, let that whole breath go. We'll take two more like that. So a really deep breath in through your nose. Feel the fullness, feel that stretch, feel the freedom. And then your clearing exhale to release. Sense of rootedness on the breath out. And one more inhale here. And a final clearing exhale whenever you're ready. Just let the whole breath go. At the bottom of your breath again, settle into that rooted sensation. Let your breath begin to shift into Ujjayi Pranayama. So inhales and exhales now travel through your nose and across the back of your throat. And slowly start to open your eyes and make your way onto your back body if you're not already there. And once you find your way to the earth, begin with a full body stretch. So slowly start to send your arms overhead, lengthen your legs forward. Maybe spread your fingers, spread your toes, and take a couple circles through your ankles and your wrists. And eventually bring your knees into your body. Just take a moment to rock a little bit from side to side. or circle your knees to massage your low back on the earth. And then send both your hands over to your right shin and extend your left leg long for wind removing pose. As you pull your right leg closer to your body, take a big breath into your back body, your low back in particular. And then let your exhale guide you to your supine twist. Your right knee will tip over to the left. And send that full breath into your right side body. And feel the stretch from the inside out. And as you exhale, twist a little bit deeper. Just one more time, breathe now across your collarbones nice and wide. On your exhale, twist a little bit deeper. And then start to come through center. You're gonna bridge your right foot to the earth to square your hips. And then send your left leg up to the sky for a hamstring stretch. Right, reach behind your left leg and just take a breath or two there. And then we're gonna take an inhale here, reach up through your left heel, kind of flex your ankle. And on your exhale, eagle wrap your left thigh on top of your right. So just a single stack. You're gonna start to lift your right foot off the earth, bring your shins like parallel to the ground. So you're kind of in this like eagle leg tabletop shape. And then zip your shins together, hug your inner thighs tight. And you're either going to eagle wrap your left arm underneath your right for eagle arms, or you can take your hands behind your head, elbows wide. Okay, so your choice. And on your breath in, start to tap your right heel down to the earth. Reach your fingertips a little bit overhead. On your exhale, slowly draw everything up and into center. Shoulder blades lift. Maybe lift your hips off the earth as well. Squeeze. On your in-breath, slow motion, start to open back up. On your exhale, curl, crunch, draw everything up and in. And that little pause at the top, and then we'll take it one more time here. Inhale to tap open, slow and controlled in both directions. On your exhale, curl and contract everything up and in. We're gonna pause at the top for 3. Okay, nice and tall for 2. Everything up and in for 1. Wind removing pose, second side. As you unwind, bring your left knee to your left shoulder and send your right leg out long. And take a deep breath to your belly this time. And then exhale to your supine twist. Left knee tips over to the right. Send your 2 cycles of breath. And thinking about every inhale as that invitation to stretch and create more space. And every exhale is our invitation to get a little bit deeper and just set aside anything that we don't need. Okay, from your twist, you're gonna start to come back to center. Bridge your left foot to the earth, and as you square your hips, extend your right leg up to the sky. Then reach behind your right leg. You can have some softness to your knee. Maybe point flex and circle through your right ankle. See how your hamstring feels on this side. Let your breath get a little bit fuller, and then start to reach your right heel up to the ceiling. On your exhale, eagle stack your right thigh on top of your left. As you start to float your feet off the earth and zip your shins together, decide if you want to find eagle arms or if you want to take your hands behind your head. For eagle arms, you're going to take your right arm underneath your left. Squeeze everything together. I like to flex my feet, so maybe you do too. On your inhale, tap your left foot down to the earth. Fingertips reach slightly overhead. And exhale, draw everything up and in slow. Hips high, shoulder blades high. With control, start to inhale to open up. Take your time in both directions, and then exhale, curl everything up and in. Maybe imagine someone pushing down against you as you lift. One more time, your inhale to open. Then exhale, curl and close. Draw everything up and in. You're going to pause at the top. Make shoulder blades high, hips high. Elbows and thighs together for 3, 2, unwind everything with 1. Just release, relax, knees to chest. Take a big breath in. Maybe an open mouth exhale out. And start to rock and roll forward and back. We're going to find our way into a cross-legged seat. Take your right shin in front. On your in-breath, circle, sweep your hands to the sky. And then with the exhale, forward fold any amount towards the earth to open through your hips. And take one more breath here. And then take your time to rise up. We're just going to do a simple switch. Cross your left shin in front. If you need to untuck the seat a little bit, feel free to do so. Circle sweep on your breath in. And then dive forward on your out breath. Take one more release, slow inhale. And one more slow exhale. And this time as we rise up, we're going to make our way into our tabletop. So go ahead and find all fours. Make fingers wide, joints stacked. With your in-breath, lift your heart and tail to find your cow pose. Open through your heart space. And then on your exhale, slowly start to find your cat pose. Round the back of your heart up to the sky. Think about pushing down and forward through your hands. And then inhale to your cow shape. Lift through your heart, lift through your tail. Come up to your fingertips. And a little softness in your elbows, and let your heart kind of melt towards the earth. The shoulders stay high. So think about your shoulder blades sliding together on your back body. And then with that little bit of a bend through your elbows, energetically pull your fingers towards your knees. So finger pads pull back, and you pull your heart forward and through. Shoulder blades still slid together on your back body. And then from here, maybe stay on your finger pads. Let your tailbone lead the way to your cat spine. So slow motion, start to round the back of your heart up. Push it down and forward through your finger pads, but keep your shoulders away from your ears. And start to come to a neutral spine. Place your palms down to the earth. And when you're ready, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back. And just take a moment here. Maybe reach one heel to the earth and then the other. And when in-breath, lift your heels up high. On your exhale, we're headed to a forward fold. So you can tiptoe. You can take a big step. If you want to take a big hop to the top, you can. Soften your knees and just rest over your thighs for a moment. Think head heavy and tailbone tall. And then keep a little softness in your knees. On your next breath in, start to lift up halfway. And as you lift halfway, lean some of the weight more to the fronts of your feet. Okay. On your exhale, forward fold, release back down. Next breath in, rise all the way to stand, Urdhva Hastasana, circle sweep to the sky. On your exhalation, a little softness in your knees. Eagle wrap your right arm underneath your left. So you can either do the full eagle wrap or just take the backs of your hands together. And then inhale, lift your elbows towards the sky. So think a little bit of a back bend, but more lifting your elbows up to the ceiling and away from your sternum. And on your exhale, cat your spine around your spine. Put your elbows in towards your body. Reach your fingertips away from your body. Shoulders out of ears. Although an inhale, lift your fingertips up to the sky again. And then with exhalation, start to unwind through your goddess arms. Let your elbows open wide. And then swan dive forward to the earth. Soften your knees and hinge at your hips. At the bottom, take a breath in to lift up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. On your exhale, find your high plank. Plant your hands and step your feet back. And from your high plank pose, mindfully shift forward on your inhale, and then lower slowly to the earth with your exhale. And once you arrive to the ground, untuck your toes. Inhale to your low cobra. Feel your thighs light up as you lift the back of your heart space. On your exhale, gently lower back down. And keep your elbows in close, your triceps engaged. We're going to press to child's pose. And again, think triceps and core to shift your hips to your heels. So it's more like a reverse modified push-up. Once you find your child's pose, keep your arms nice and long, reaching to the top of your yoga mat. We're going to look forward at our arms and start to set up for a forearm plank. So forearms parallel. You have to bend your elbows. Once your shoulders are stacked over your elbows, just step your feet back into your forearm plank. Okay, so your knees can be up or your knees can be down. Just take a couple breaths here. Push down into the earth. Light up your thighs, and then think about your heart and crown extending forward as you continue to draw your elbows towards your toes. Have imaginary blocks between your arms and between your inner thighs. Take one more breath in. Then exhale, lower to a Sphinx pose. Release your hips to the earth. Untuck your toes. Press down through your toenails and pull your elbows towards your hip points. And try to keep the muscles along your spine active. We're going to slide our elbows out into goddess arms. Yeah, so you might drop down a little bit through your heart space, but try to keep the lift through your sternum. From your goddess arms, place your hands by your low ribs for upward facing dog. You start to lengthen through your arms, lift your thighs, feel the stretch through your front line. And downward facing dog, slowly lift your hips to the ceiling. And with an inhale, lift your heels up high. On your exhale, bend your knees and then step or hop to the top forward fold. Good. With your in-breath, lift up halfway for the length from crown to tail. On exhale, fold right back down. Rise up to stand with your next breath in, Urdhva Hastasana. And then eagle wrap your left arm underneath your right. Find a little softness through your knees. And then inhale, scoop your elbows up to the sky. Feel your shoulder blades press into the back of your heart. On your exhale, cat your spine. Let your head fall heavy as your fingertips reach away from you to the earth. And with an inhale, sweep your fingertips to the ceiling again. And follow your exhale to unwind through goddess arms and swan dive to your forward fold. Halfway lift, breathe in to extend. Find your high plank pose, your exhale steps your feet back. And inhale forward to your tippy toes. Knees up or down, lower all the way to your belly, slow and strong. At the bottom, untuck your toes. Inhale to a low or a high cobra. So you can lift a little bit taller this time if you'd like. Then let your exhale arrive you back to the earth. And elbows in close. Press to child's pose using your triceps and your core. Start to look forward and set yourself up for your forearm plank. So again, bend at your elbows. Once your shoulders are stacked, just step your feet back. Okay, now we're gonna keep our hands and our feet exactly where they are. Take a big breath in. On your exhale, start to lift from your low belly, your hips to the sky. So pike your hips up and back a little bit. And then inhale, shift forward again. Okay, same thing. On your exhale, you're gonna push down through your forearms, pull through your belly, lift your hips towards the sky. And then lower it back down to your forearm plank. Okay, one more time. Push your hips up and back. And then lower to your forearm plank. Okay, release your hips to the earth. Untuck your toes. You're in your Sphinx pose. Feel your front and back body engage. And then slide your arms out into your goddess arms so the muscles between your shoulder blades light up. Okay, your upper back nice and strong. Take one more moment here. Then upward facing dog, hands by your low ribs. Begin to lift. And then start to pull yourself back to downward facing dog. Let's take a deep breath into the nose. And then open mouth, exhale, let it go. And inhale your right leg to the sky. And then on your exhale, take your right knee to your left tricep underneath your body. Listen, we're gonna take a figure 4 down dog. So you're taking your right ankle on your left thigh, bend your left knee, and then send your hips up and back, but make sure your left knee has at least a micro bend in it, if not more. Press your right knee to the wall behind your booty, and think hips to the sky. You just wanna make sure that your left knee is bent, so that we're not pushing into an extended joint. From here, step your right foot to the top of your yoga mat. You might need to give it a little boost without the momentum of our 3-legged dog. Then drop your left knee to the earth and lift your heart in your hands with a big breath in. At the top, we're gonna eagle wrap our left arm underneath our right. Think inhale, elbows up to the sky. Feel the front left hip stretch open. Stay tall through your torso, but on your exhale, cat your spine, pull your navel in. Fingertips to the earth, elbows to your sternum. Again, focusing on the front left hip, as well as the upper back. Next, inhale, strong through your legs for stability, lift through your heart and your hands. And then unwind through your goddess arms, feel your collarbones open, and bring your hands down to the earth, frame your right foot. And lift your back knee off the ground. Then lengthen both of your legs to your cat lunge, your hamstring stretch. Right, from here, go ahead and bend into your right knee. And twist your right hand to the sky. Take one big breath in. On your exhale, turn all 10 toes to the left until your left knee bends. So side lunge, left knee bend. This could also be Skandasana if you want to flex your right toes to the sky. Good. And take one more inhale here. On your exhale, rotate to the back of your mat, low lunge to the left. Then push into your hands. Lift your left leg to the sky, 3-legged dog on your inhale. Take your left knee to your right tricep as you exhale. Figure 4 down dog, left ankle on your right thigh. Remember at least a little bit of softness in your right knee. Flex your left ankle and press your left shin bone back towards that back edge of your yoga mat behind you. And relax your head. Then take a step forward, left foot in between your thumbs. So settle your right knee down to the earth. Lift your heart in your hand with a big breath in. Okay, exhale, we'll eagle wrap our right arm underneath our left this time. Shoulders stay away from your ears, but inhale, lift your elbows towards the sky. On your exhale, find your cat spine round and curl. Pull back through your belly. Let your hips move slightly back in space to get that deeper stretch. And then let's inhale up towards the sky. So your exhale, unwind your arms. through your goddess arms, and then to the earth to frame your left foot. Cat lunge, lift your back knee, lengthen both of your legs. As you bend into your front knee, start to twist your left hand to the sky, take a deep inhale. And then turn all 10 toes to the right until your right knee bends, side lunge into your right knee. Or again, this could also be your Skandasana. Yeah, nice work. Take a breath here. And our exhale is going to rotate us to the right. So we're going to low lunge to the top of our yoga mat again. Step back into a high plank pose. Right foot meets your left. On your inhale, shift forward. Listen knees up or down. We're just going to lower halfway. And then we're going to press back up to our high plank. This time we're going to lower all the way to the earth. Super slow to your belly. Untuck your toes. Inhale to a low or a high cobra, you decide. And your exhale, release back to the earth. From the strength of your triceps and core, child's pose. So again, remember, this is a transition of strength. We're not just moving our hips to our heels. Take one breath in and one breath out. And please find your way forward to your forearm plank. Step your feet back and take a moment. You can stay here, or with your next breath in, lift your right leg to a hover. Right toes to a hover. And on your breath out, release your right foot to the earth. And inhale, maybe lift your left leg up. And exhale your left toes to the earth. Soften through your knees and start to walk forward into a dolphin pose. Have anyone to bend through your knees. Yeah, allowing space through your hamstrings, press your hips up and back. You can stay here with an inhale, lift your right leg to the sky. And on your exhale, lower your right foot to the earth. And on your inhale, maybe lift your left leg to the sky. And then exhale your left foot to the earth. Good. Soften through your knees. Let your knees come down to your yoga mat. Child's pose, hips to heels. Let's take one breath in. And one exhale. And begin to find your way forward into your downward facing dog. Okay. Your tabletop, tuck your toes and send your hips up and back. Good. Next, inhale, lift your right leg to the sky. And on your exhale, bend your knee and open your hip, half dog. Okay, take another breath in here. Feel your right glute really active. And then inhale, three-legged dog, re-extend your right leg. On your exhale, take your right knee to your left tricep underneath your body. Bend the figure four, right ankle on left thigh, little softness in your knee. Instead of going all the way back to down dog, spin open to the left. Bring the sole of your left foot to the earth and lift your left hand to the sky. So it's like a figure four side plank. Your left knee can stay bent, but lift your hips up away from the earth. And from here, three-legged dog as your left hand lands. Unwind your legs, lift your right leg to the ceiling. And step your right foot forward to the top of your yoga mat. Lengthen through your spine, and then from there, high crescent lunge, rise up with intention. At the top, you're gonna exhale your left arm underneath your right, eagle your arms. And then in breath, lift your fingertips, your elbows to the sky. On your exhale, round down any amount. So you can just go a little bit, you can stay kind of tall, but cat your spine, or you can reach your fingertips to the earth, more like a humble warrior sensation, you decide. Your in-breath will lift you back up. Use your core, push down with your strong feet. And then exhale through your goddess arms, just like you've been doing. This time we're gonna hinge forward to airplane torso. So heart forward, fingertips back. Good. Lean your weight into your right foot. We're gonna fly into an airplane pose. Push down with your right foot and float your left toes into the sky. And a little bit of a softness to your right knee. Gently step to chair pose. Bring your left foot to the top of your yoga mat. Right, move the weight to your heels. Reach your heart and your hands up. Close your eyes for a moment and just see how it changes the pose. And then bring your weight to your left foot. Open your eyes and rise up with your right leg. So one-legged Tadasana, right leg lifts. Figure four, right ankle on left thigh. Send your hips back in space and your hands to your heart. Your one-legged chair pose, flex your right ankle a lot. Maybe bring your elbows towards your right shin. And take one more breath here. You have the option to take a twist here. Maybe take your right elbow towards your right arch. Looking down at the earth can be really helpful for this. And then maybe keep your gaze down to the ground, but turn your sternum energetically towards your thumbs. And when we rise up and out of this, we're going to go back through our one-legged Tadasana, slowly, inch by inch. And then into our mountain pose, just place your right foot to the earth. Take a big breath in, reach to your fingertips. And exhale, soft knees, forward fold. Take a halfway lift, extend long through your spine. On your exhale, high plank pose, step your feet back. And with an inhale, shift forward. This time you choose chaturanga or a downward facing dog. So you can just take your traditional chaturanga or lift your hips up and back. Awesome. Hips to the ceiling. Okay, here we go. Second side. Inhale your left leg to the ceiling. On your exhale, bend your knee and open your hip. Take one more breath here. Then inhale, re-extend your left leg long. Exhale your left knee to your right tricep. You're gonna find your figure four side plank. So left ankle flexes on your right thigh. As you bend your right knee, you're gonna open to the right. All four corners of your right foot on the earth. Twist your right hand to the ceiling. Remember, your right knee can be bent. You're gonna try to lift your hips away from the ground and spin your heart open to the sky. For the stability from your left hand through your shoulder, the integration of your shoulder. And then three-legged dog. Unravel and send your left leg to the sky. Big breath in. Place your left foot forward with care. See how lightly you can step to the top with your left foot. Then a little extension through your spine first. And then high crescent, rise up from there. With your exhale, eagle wrap your right arm underneath your left. With your in-breath, lift your elbows to the sky. Exhale, you choose. You can either stay tall and cat your spine, or find the humble warrior variation with your eagle fingertips to the earth. Strong through your center, let your in-breath lift you back up. Make sure you're lifting from your core rather than your low back and down. Unwind through your goddess arms. We'll meet an airplane torso. So heart hinges forward as your hands reach back. Tip the weight into your strong left leg and fly into your airplane pose. So you can have softness to your left knee, but think about reaching length from the crown of your head to your right foot. Fingers are wide and active. We'll step into chair pose from here. Bend into your knees. Land your right foot to the earth. And then settle into your seat. And close your eyes and see how that changes the sensation from the inside out. And see if that maybe causes parts of your body to light up a little bit more. So to lean your weight to your right foot as you open your eyes and bring your left leg with you to stand. You're gonna figure four left ankle on right thigh. Move your hips back in space. One-legged chair, Ekapada Utkatasana. And you have a couple upper body variations, so make sure your left ankle is active and flexed. Maybe you bring your elbows towards your left shin, Or perhaps you take the twist, keeping your gaze focused on one point. Maybe take your left elbow towards the arch of your left foot. You might bring your fingers into Hakini Mudra, so finger pads together. Take one more moment here. We're going to rise up to stand in a moment. So take your time, start to focus your gaze again. Feel your breath. Slow motion, push down with your right foot and start to rise with your left leg. Take a huge inhale at the top. Exhale, left foot to the earth. Right away, soften your knees and hinge forward. Breathe into your halfway lift. Exhale, high plank. On your inhale, shift forward this time. Exhale, lower halfway. Knees can be up or knees can be down. We're going to press back up to our high plank. And this time, lower all the way down to the earth. So just like we did in the previous layers. Untuck your toes. Inhale to a low or a high cobra. You choose your height. And exhale, release down. Okay, press to your child's pose. In the same intention of tricep strength and core. We're going to take one more forearm plank exploration, and then we're going to take a little child's pose. I'm going to break something down. We'll have our final kind of mini layer from there. So as you're ready, start to make your way forward into your forearm plank of choice. So I'm going to guide us into a movement from here, but you can always choose to stay in forearm plank with your knees up or your knees down. So make sure your feet are about hips distance apart, maybe slightly closer. On an inhale, maybe float your right leg to a hover. On your exhale, stay or press your hips up towards a one-legged dolphin. And then slowly inhale back to your forearm plank. Stay as you breathe out. On your inhale, maybe lift your left leg to a hover. On your exhale, maybe press your hips up and back towards a one-legged dolphin. And inhale back to your forearm plank. And exhale your knees to the earth. Hips to your heels, just walk your hands back to child's pose. Okay, go ahead and find your way to a seat. And if you'd like to grab a sip of water, you can grab a sip of water. Take a little pause. So in our last layer, I'm going to offer us one kind of funky arm balance pose from our figure 4. So Lavanya kind of requested this last week. I had another student in another class as well ask for it, so I figured I should probably bring it into the flow this morning. I'm going to explore what's called dragonfly. So it's from our figure 4. That being said, I'm going to give you like a bunch of different options for when we get there, right? So option 1 would be figure 4, which we just did, just to stay and work it the same way that we did. So either figure 4, hands to shins, or the twist, okay? Options from here are to spread your wings in the twist, okay? So the thing about dragonfly is you need to be able to get your hands to the earth. It's an arm balance. So maybe you're just working on your hip space, and then you're opening up for stability. If you're not wanting to go to the dragonfly, but you're wanting to maybe go to a flying pigeon, which is your flying figure 4, you might start to bring your hands towards the earth in front of your shin. Cool. So to find the dragonfly pose, I'll show it to you this way. You're in your figure 4. We twist. I like to look down at the earth for stability. And then we spread our wings open. Now, your foot is going to be propped on your tricep, right? So in order for that to happen, sometimes you gotta like slide your tricep, or your tricep more to the arch of your foot, so you can bring your hands down to the earth. Where your hands are on the earth is less important because once your legs lift up, you're in the same shape, right? But it's more like, where can you get your hands on the earth while keeping the figure four of your right hip, right? And our hips are pretty sticky typically, so it might have to be more at the diagonal or kind of just directly to the side. Think like side crow almost. You'll bring your hands into chaturanga. So hands are going to be about shoulder distance apart. You're going to bend at your elbows. My right foot is on my right tricep. I'm going to lean forward. My left leg is bent right now, and that's totally fine. This might be as far as you go. Maybe you lean forward, use your core. Start to pick that left foot up. Maybe you start to extend it out to this side, flex your foot. Hug your elbows into the midline. And then to release, you bend your foot of your extended leg and you reverse out. You might have to just go to a forward fold after all of that, okay? So that's your dragonfly pose. The trickiest part is getting your hands to the earth. It requires just a tremendous amount of hip opening. And even for me, I'm pretty open. That feels still pretty tight this morning. So be compassionate to your body in that. Maybe you just set it up today, but don't actually take flight, okay? And remember, flying pigeon, if you choose to go there, you're in your figure four. Ooh, you fall over perhaps. Figure four, hands to shins, maybe hands to earth. You're going to look forward. This flex is super important. Left ankle around my right tricep. I'm going to bend my elbows to create a shelf. My left shin goes onto that shelf as I tip forward. I'm going to flex my toes around my tricep. As I lean forward, I push into the earth, pulling through my core. Maybe I just float my right foot up to my booty, flying figure four. Maybe I flex my left toes around my right tricep so much I can extend my right leg out. Cool. Ta-da. Oh, it feels so early to be doing that. We're gonna make our way to downward dog. This is gonna be like one last little bit of movement to get us to that exploration space. And then after this layer, we are on the earth and close to Shavasana. So take a moment to feel your breath. Maybe close your eyes just to let inhale and exhale take up more of your awareness than anything else. Let every other distraction fade away. And feel your breath just guide you right back to here and now. And you're going to use an inhale to lift your right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. On your exhale, bend your knee and open your hip. Option to stay or find a wild thing. A little softness in your left elbow. You step your right toes behind you, open through your heart. On your exhale, look forward to the top of your yoga mat. Now bring your right hand to the earth and your right knee to your left tricep, so underneath your body. Figure four, down dog, right ankle on your left thigh. A little softness in your left knee as you press your hips up and back. And then step your right foot forward to the top of your yoga mat. And left hand stays low. Twist your right hand to the sky, big breath in. Stay here or take a horizon lunge. Maybe turn all 10 toes to the right. Keep your hips lifted and turn your heart open to the right. So think like sideways half pigeon. Flex your feet. If you'd like to, on your next breath in now, drop your hips and you reach the back of your yoga mat. And on your breath out, begin to rotate to the top low lunge again. Be with your heart space and step into your chair pose. Left foot meets your right. Hips low, lift your heart in your hands. On your exhale, lean your weight to your left foot and rise up with your right leg. Let your in-breath continue that transition through your sternum and your crown lift to the sky. We're going to take a figure four here, right ankle on left thigh. Sit back into your one-legged chair. Now this is where you decide where you want to go. So do you want to just work on depth, bringing forearms closer to shin? Do you want to work on a twist? Do you want to bring your hands to the earth? If you're twisting, it's going to be, let's see, right elbow to right arch. Agakais. Hey, Sarah, I like this smile. She's like, I'm doing something over here. It's hard to tell what you're doing in your screen, but it looks good. Okay. And then, like I said, we're gonna meet eventually in a forward fold. You might come up through a one-legged Tadasana. If that kind of power push up to one-legged Tadasana would feel like a good unwind. But take your time to eventually just forward fold. And then let your eyes close again. Let's take a moment to arrive into your fold. Let an in-breath lift you up halfway when you're ready. And exhale, forward fold back down. Slowly inhale, rise all the way to Urdhva Hastasana. With your exhale, bring your hands to your heart and close your eyes. Just taking a moment to appreciate all that your body offered, and that moment of challenge and that moment of push as you explored the edge. We'll make our way into second side now. So when you're ready, start to breathe in and circle sweep your hands to the sky. Eyes can be opened or closed. Let your exhale fold you to the earth. Take your time, let your knees bend, and feel your core slow you down. Good. Inhale to halfway lift. Feel all of that space from crown to tail. And exhale, step or flow back to downward facing dog. So decide your transition. Keep in mind, if you are going to that arm balance, you're going to probably want to save some of the juice for your shoulders for that moment. And once you find your downward facing dog, start to inhale your left leg to the ceiling. Bend your knee and open your hip. Stay or wild thing, step your left toes behind you, open your heart, big breath in. You're gonna look to the top of your yoga mat as you exhale, bring your left hand to the earth, left knee to your right tricep. Use your core to cross your knee underneath your body. Figure four down dog, left ankle on your right thigh, hips to the sky. Eventually step your left foot to the top of your yoga mat and twist your left hand to the ceiling, deep breath in. And you can stay here or horizon lunge, turn all 10 toes to the left. Start with your hips lifted. That's going to give you a deeper outer seat stretch. Lean your left shoulder back, open up. And then if you would like to, dip down with your inhale, reach to the back of your yoga mat. Low lunge to the top of your mat as you exhale. Step to your chair pose. Your right foot will meet your left. Take a moment to find your strong seat as you rise up. Let's see, we're going to lean our weight to our right foot this time. Begin to push to your right foot and bring your left leg with you. Now take your figure four when you're ready. Left ankle crosses over your right thigh. And again, start to explore this side. So see if this side is maybe wanting to go to a different variation than the first. This side might have more or less space than the first, more or less strength than the first. Focus your gaze and keep breathing. Now that twist of, let's see, left elbow towards left arch, while keeping your left hip lifted and square with your right is quite a deep stretch. And then think about lengthening your spine all at the same time. And the thing about arm balances is we have to be patient because until our hands can touch the earth, it's quite difficult to fly on them. Yeah. Cool. Your transition out is either through a one-legged Tadasana, or you're just going to stand down into your forward fold. So see what feels best for you. And eventually we all arrive into Uttanasana, forward fold, top of our yoga mats. Go ahead and take a halfway lift. Breathe length from crown to tail. And exhale, forward fold, release. And rise all the way to stand. One big breath in, circle seat to the sky. And then exhale your hands to your heart, close your eyes. And feeling that lingering vibration in your body. Maybe there's this little bit of heat that's cultivated. Feel your heartbeat, your breath. Take a big breath through your nose. And exhale, just let that whole breath go. And circle seat to the sky one more time with your breath in. And fold forward on your exhalation. Lift halfway. And then bend your knees and have a seat. Okay. We're gonna make our way to the back body. So go ahead and either hug your knees in and just tip back, or maybe send your heels out in front of you for heel anchors. This would be a good chance for some water too if you're thirsty. And then as you press your heels down into the earth and isometrically drag them towards your seat, reach up tall through your torso on an inhale. For that connection to your core, maybe close your eyes even, and exhale to start to lower back down. And taking your time to find your way all the way back to the earth where we started. Letting the power of your core control the descent until you find yourself in a full body stretch. Long from fingers to feet. Take a huge breath in. And then exhale your knees into your torso. Take a moment here. You can either be in stillness or you can find a little bit of movement. Start to reach a breath into your back body. And as that breath empties out, let your knees tip over to your left for a gentle twist. Breathe into your right side. Relax your jaw. And just take this time to start to transition from a more active portion of practice into the more receptive being portion of practice, where some of the effort begins to melt away. And we begin to transition into a little bit of ease. Super lazily, as gently as you can, start to lift one leg at a time through center. And let your knees eventually tip over to the right for gentle twist second side, just a simple switch. And once you drop your knees to the right, how easy can you become in your body? How much can you let go? Okay, take one more breath in. And you slowly empty that breath away. And start to bring your knees back to center. You can decide on one last shape. If you want to move through a final inversion, a hip opening, a heart opening, anything else. Otherwise, you'll start to send your legs out long. Just make your way into final relaxation, final Shavasana. And as you decide where you'd like to close your practice, give yourself permission to be a little bit picky. Just until you find that sweet spot that allows you to drop in a little bit deeper. allows you to just melt into the earth's support with no unnecessary holding, clenching in your body. And then as you feel the weight of your muscles and your bones sink in and down, relax your jaw, release your forehead. Feel the weight of your arms and your legs settle into the earth. And if it would feel good, go ahead and take one more deep breath in through your nose. And one more exhale out of your mouth. Allow your breath to get a little bit deeper. And from that deeper breath in, give your exhale the space to lengthen out, permission to extend even longer. And as every inhale grows a little bit fuller, and every exhale stretches a little bit longer. Start to bring some movement back into your fingers and your toes. You circle with your ankles and your wrists. It would feel good to go full body stretch and breathe your hands up and overhead. And then as you exhale, you can either bring your hands to your heart and continue to rest on the earth, or just gently press your way up to a comfortable seat if you prefer to end your practice from a tall spine. And with your eyes closed and your hands at your heart, our final pause of practice is to recognize the time and the intention that you devoted to your practice today. And you pause to honor and acknowledge the energy that you offered to this virtual community that you shared with each other and the energy that you received. And we also pause to recognize the ancient roots of the practice itself, this ancient practice that continues to serve and support us today. Let's take one more deep breath in through the nose altogether. And one more open mouth exhale to release. May yoga offer us a path to compassion. And may our practices serve as our teachers, leading us to live more authentically and love more deeply and see more clearly each and every day. And thank you so much for being here this morning and continuing to show up for your practice. Namaste.